Have you ever watched a team that's just packed with superstars completely fall apart? Or maybe you've seen a group of underdogs pull off something that seemed impossible. Well, it often comes down to something you can't really see on a stat sheet. So, what is this invisible force? Let's dive in and figure out what really makes a team click.
So, what is it? What's that invisible current running through a team that decides whether they rise to the occasion or just crumble under pressure? It's not just about who's got the most talent, and it's not just about having the best strategy. It's something else entirely. Well, that invisible force, it has a name: team dynamics. It's this powerful, often totally unseen energy that shapes every single pass, every play, and every critical moment of a game. Now, on paper, that definition seems pretty straightforward, right? But in the real world, it's incredibly complex. It's all about that web of interactions between players. How do they talk to each other? How do they react when someone messes up? These aren't just little habits, they are literally the building blocks of trust and ultimately performance. Think about this for a second. A team's reaction to a single mistake, just one, can send them down two completely different paths. It can be a moment of support that makes the team stronger, or it can be a moment of sabotage that just tears it all apart. All right, let's start with the negative path. Picture this basketball game. A player misses a super easy shot, a layup, and instead of a high five or a, hey, get the next one, they get an earful of criticism from their teammates. Right away, that just poisons the whole atmosphere. And the result is, well, it's a total disaster. That criticism immediately makes people defensive. Players stop thinking about the team and start worrying about protecting themselves. All the focus shifts from the game to these internal arguments. And just like that, the team spirit is broken. Okay, now let's look at the flip side. A football defender is really struggling against a tricky opponent. Instead of just leaving them on an island to fend for themselves, their teammate, the winger, actually comes all the way back to help out, going way above and beyond their normal job. And this is where you see the real power of support in action. By helping out, the winger sends a clear message: I've got your back. The defender knows they have backup, so they can play with way more confidence. Together, they form a defensive wall and shut down a dangerous attack. It's a perfect example of collective strength. So here's the bottom line, right? The exact same situation, a moment of difficulty, can lead to two totally opposite outcomes. One path, criticism. It leads straight to a breakdown. The other path, support, leads to resilience and success. It's the choice a team makes in that split second that really defines them. Now, let's talk about how this whole idea of support builds into another absolutely crucial element: communication. Because, sometimes the most important plays aren't made with your feet, but with your voice. Here's a perfect example of what happens when communication just fails. A hockey player is wide open, in the perfect spot to get a pass, but they stay silent. Their teammate, who's under all this pressure with the ball, has absolutely no idea they're even an option. And the chain reaction is so fast and predictable. The player with the ball holds on too long, the defense closes right in, and they lose possession. A golden opportunity just vanishes into thin air, all because of silence. But what happens when a team communicates well? Oh, it's a total game changer. In the middle of all the chaos of a fast-moving game, a single player shouting instructions can be like the brain for the entire defense, directing traffic and getting everyone on the same page in an instant. And you can see that positive chain reaction perfectly here. It all starts with just one voice cutting through the noise. That leads to an organized defense. That organization closes down all the gaps for the opponent, and because there are no gaps, the opponent has nowhere to go and the shot gets prevented. It's a masterclass in teamwork, all sparked by one voice. So this brings us perfectly to the final piece of the puzzle. You see, great support and communication, they usually don't just happen by accident. They need to be actively nurtured, and that's where we see the spark of true leadership. I mean, this quote from a hockey player just says it all, doesn't it? The captain's encouragement wasn't just a nice thing to do. It was this incredibly powerful signal of belief. It basically told the player, I trust you. And honestly, that's one of the most powerful motivators you can get. And just look at the incredible ripple effect from that one act of leadership. That feeling of being trusted allows the player to get totally focused. They're not afraid to make a mistake anymore. And that confidence, it fuels a top-tier performance, which then directly creates scoring chances for the whole team. See? One person's encouragement literally elevates everyone. So, after seeing how support, communication, and leadership all weave together, what's the big takeaway here? What does this mean for you and any team you're a part of, whether that's in sports, at work, or really anywhere else? Well, it all really comes down to this winning formula. It's about consciously choosing support over criticism. It's about speaking up to create clarity when things are chaotic. It's about being the leader who inspires confidence, not fear. And it's about having that mindset to go help a teammate, even when it's not technically your job. And that leaves us with one final and maybe the most important question. The dynamics of any team are just the sum of a bunch of individual choices. So the real question is, after seeing the huge impact you can have, what kind of teammate are you going to choose to be?